Welcome back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are calm, we are local, and even though the college sports thing's very, very much up in the air, we always appreciate our partnership with our partners at Coppin State. I got my Coppin State banner underneath the leg lamp, underneath of Art Modell. I would pull it out. I don't need to do that for the new ladies coach for all things basketball over at Coppin, and I would say I hope we have a season, but certainly moving on season to season and recruiting and kids on campus, off campus, and remote learning and all of that stuff. She might remember some of that from her days at Maryland, where she was a standout player and has played basketball around the world. And, you know, I love someone where their Twitter handle says coach in it, because I don't have to ask you, Laura Harper, did you always want to be a coach? How are you? And welcome to pandemic life here at Coppin, right?
You know, yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful for this. This should be fun. So thank you so much, Nestor.
Well, run me through where you are, because I think anybody that's followed ladies basketball or college basketball, I had Angel McCottry on last week. You could find that out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. Would be familiar with you through the Terps and from where you've been in Loyola and some other background. I always find it funny that, I guess, to honor Fang Mitchell at Coppin, everybody there had to come through Philadelphia at some point. So your background in North Philadelphia, certainly I said, oh, another Philadelphia person involved over at Coppin, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, how'd you get the gig? Run me through, the last couple of months, because this is certainly, I think, an unusual, challenging time, crisis management for anybody that leads people in general. But this is kind of a weird time, I think, to not have answers for any of us. There's no certainty on anything.
Getting an opportunity like this and trying to be a leader amid so much uncertainty is probably going to be one of my biggest challenges in coaching, but also the most rewarding. And it's funny because my team looks at me when we have these meetings and we're talking, that this is more of, emotional, psychological empowerment movement for us right now, so that we can become ready, because COVID is just affecting people in more ways than just basketball.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, I guess for all of your student athletes and recruited by others, you come in, you take the seat, you're trying to get to know them. You can't touch, feel, 6 feet, hug, do all the things that you did with teammates, that you did with coaches, through, all of your background in getting to this point. But certainly you can identify with these young ladies, right, and their families, and for whatever they're going through, because you're a little younger than me. I've been doing this now 30 years, so I get to say that to people in their 30s. But wasn't that long ago for you that this could have been you in your sophomore year, senior year of high school, incoming, outgoing, everything shuts down. And we were talking about this, how it's going to affect the baseball industry, football industry, basketball industry. Basketball is one of those things I think most people can do in the backyard, maybe keep some of their skills sharp. But this is really a challenge for everyone, and I guess for you to identify with each one of these people you're looking at, I guess, on Zoom and trying to get to know them. There's some humanity in all of this, right?
Yeah, it's it's so challenging, but it's also so rewarding. And yes, when you say there's humanity in all of this, yes, because I have not met any of this group in person. Now, as we start moving in, I'm going to try to be as much a part of that as possible. But even then, it's like, what's too much? How many people can be in the room? How close can I be? Everyone
we'll
needs
meet
to
out
wear
on
a
the
mask.
field. That's going to be the new thing, at least while the weather holds up, right?
Exactly.
For you in this time and transition for you personally, run me through taking the gig at Coppin and being a part of this and what you've inherited there, and obviously Juan on the other side, and whether we're going to play or not, where we're going to play and how we're going to practice, all of these things. I would think that the transition for you, with all that you've been, I mean, you've played ball and you've landed on a plane in Moscow and in Turkey. I mean, I'm figuring you're built to handle this, right?
Yes. Adversity is definitely something I'm prepared for. And, getting this job was a process. I had no expectations other than I knew it'd be an awesome opportunity. I'm going to apply. I'm going to reach out to the right people and pray that something bites, And then when I actually did hear back from Mrs. Persons, I was like, wow, this could actually be a thing, and I need to prepare as if, I will be the next head coach at Coppin State.
Well, it feels like you've been preparing for a long time, right? Through your background and your playing, and you are, of course, out on Twitter, Coach L. Harper, Laura Harper, new ladies coach over at Coppin State, preparing amidst all of this madness in the summer and trying to keep in touch. But for you, being a coach and being around coaches, I would think you saw yourself in a seat by the time you were in your mid-30s coaching somewhere, somebody, right?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely saw myself coaching. Did I think I was going to have my first Division I head coaching job at 34? No, but I do think it's funny. I think when I was talking to Brenda a few weeks ago, she started coaching Maryland when she was 34, and I've always admired, her youth when she was coaching us.
Well, I've gotten to know Brenda, through her son's leukemia. My wife's a leukemia battler as well, and I've gotten to see. But what Maryland has represented, that when you say you played ball at Maryland, and especially on the teams that you played on, I would think it's opened doors for you in ways to get some of these gigs playing overseas, right?
No, of course, I agree.
We are chatting with Laura Harper. She is Coach L. Harper. She's a Coppin State. So bring me to the here and now. On a daily basis, communicating with players, trying to coach basketball, recruit, stay in touch with people, and find yourself in a new seat. What do the next couple of weeks hold, as you said, where we're trying to get kids back into some sort of flow of becoming students again, let alone student athletes?
I never thought I'd be such an avid group texter, and everything now is virtual. So you have to keep it creative. You have to force, uncomfortable conversation via Zoom, via text, so that, your student athletes know that you're still here, and this is the new norm, as people say, which I'm kind of like, is this normal, or do we just need to be really creative and prepared to pivot?
Well, it's going to be normal for a little while, right? I would think nothing about this next period for you taking over a new gig with people and trying to recruit and trying to organize who's going to be where. And then more than that, the safety part of this for all of us, right? For every person you're touching, where your mask is, all these other people, to make sure that we personally are, we can't be standing up 6 months from now and being able to play basketball and do all the things that are normal if we're not being safe right now. And I think that's personal responsibility, I think, for everyone. And I would think you're pretty proud of watching the other ladies in the WNBA and what's going on Wubble-wise. Certainly movers and shakers during this strange time in American history that women's basketball players have certainly been out on the front lines of trying to create change in this country.
No, for sure. I think the fact that the WNBA, one, has been able to solidify and unify their voice of social injustice and change, and, being the voice for the voiceless, specifically, with Breonna Taylor, and them also figuring out that this is the only way right now that we can play, is to stay in a bubble.
Or the wubble, yes.
The wubble, no, you're correct. It's to stay in the wubble. And collegiate athletes in sports, we haven't figured it out yet. So maybe we need our own wubble here at Coppin.
Well, if we can make our wubble in Bradenton, Florida under good weather conditions.
I know, right?
Hey, I appreciate the visit. I know you're just, there's got to be stuff piling up on your desk with people and humans and basketball and rules and NCAA and Coppin and MEAC and who's playing where. But welcome back to Baltimore, I should say, for you after your stint on the other side of town over in Loyola. But I hope to see you around. I hope to elbow bump you at some point and get down on the court with the blue and gold and have like some normal stuff going on at some point. So hopefully we'll get to meet somewhere that's not Zoom. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. Looking forward to connecting.
You got it. Laura Harper, you can find her out on Twitter at Coach L. Harper. You can also find her over at Coppin State. She's the new head women's basketball coach for the Lady Eagles. You can find them at coppinstatesports.com as well. We're looking for something normal around here. There's a little baseball on and weird hockey going on and a little bit of golf and stuff on the weekends. We're waiting for the NFL as well. And I am merging all things WNST.net with Baltimore Positive. We are calm, we are local, and we're still partners with Coppin State. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking college sports, even during a pandemic.